guys. Thanks for joining us on another episode of Always Making. We have another talented artist here joining us for a great conversation about everything they're passionate about in this maker world. Before we do, we like to get you guys started with a like, comment, subscribe. We're going to do some housekeeping. We have Patreon. You guys can join and help us support the podcast here. $10 gets you some stickers sent right out to your door. You guys can follow the links right below and help support the podcast there. We've got some shows coming up. We have our Letter West night market on April 10th. You guys can come out and support if you guys are in the local area. Check that out. That's a free market. You can come out. There's a lot of great talented artists that are going to be out at that event. We have
April 19th.
April 19th
Yes.
is when the punk rock flea market is going to be out. We're going to be there for the April show and also the May show as well. I don't remember the dates for the May show, but
I also forgot that one.
we will have that all posted on our social media at Steadfast Rebels. You can always follow us there. Our guest Thayne will be out. Thayne's World, sorry for the but Thayne is
Thayne, yes.
Thayne. But Thayne's World will be out there for the April show. You can go check out him at the April show for the punk rock flea. And then that's what we've got going on right now for housekeeping.
Yeah.
I think that's going to do everything for the housekeeping. So, let's get into the conversation. Thayne, thank you for joining us
Oh, thank you.
on this episode. What we like to do as we get started with this is we want to know how this all got started for you.
Oh man, how did it get started? How far back do I go?
Where it all began.
Oh man.
What was the first thing you sketched? No,
Well, oh man, I distinctly I feel like I've been drawing my entire life. Since a kid, I've always been drawing, and so it's always been in the background of my life. It's just been there, and I felt like I was always destined to be an artist. Like I actually distinctly remember when I was like 8 years old, remembering like I want to be a comic book artist. It's kind of crazy. I was just like, I decided I'm going to do that. And like my whole life, I've just kind of set it out to do that.
That's amazing.
I was gonna say your style has a comic book feel, but it's not. I don't know if I would like fully say it's comic booky in what you do, because there's so much depth to everything you do, because there's clay work, like sculpting work that you do, there's like the marker work, there's paint work, there's spray painting, like there's so much that you do. Like what is all the different mediums that you play around in?
I explore everything. I think I've been listening to your podcast. I'm creeping on you guys. But I feel like I'm much in the like maker space where it's just you love exploring into new realms and trying new things. I've always like just explored and dived into something, and I've always ended up somewhere completely that I've never would have thought I would have ended up in. So it's always been fun for me. I always love, I don't know if it's printing. I've done 3D. I've done, I don't know. I love working with people too. Working with other artists is one of my favorite things.
Yeah, collaborations has been one of the things we've been diving into lately. It's super fun to kind of play around with other artists and kind of let those styles mix around. Your biggest thing lately, I guess the past year, has been the zines. We have one of them for the visual people. You can see we have but you just finished a project of your whole past year.
Yes.
You have a whole collection of your zines here, but you've been, how many zines have you done now total?
Oh my gosh, over 20. But that was last year. It's just kind of crazy. I didn't expect to get into it. Alt Press Fest was coming up, and my friend who was like, I always was like, oh, I've always wanted to make a comic book. And he's like, I'm looking through your sketchbooks. You have pages of full comics. Just compile them into a book. And I did that, and I took him to a zine festival, and it was so much fun just to give my work to people and to see their reaction to it. And it just kicked it off. And I was like, all right, I want to start doing this monthly. I want to, and I it's kind of my version of a podcast in a way. It's like a visual little story I get to put out each month, and it's fun.
I was gonna say, for people out there who don't know what a zine is, what's your definition of a zine?
A zine. Oh, okay. So back in the day before forum boards, it was a way to like talk to other people about your nerdy fandoms, and then through that, I think it branched out to a way to communicate through marginalized communities, and then it blew up to be something bigger. I feel like it was like the internet before the internet was a thing. I don't know, it's really cool to see how the internet is now taken off, and then I'm trying to bring back this thing that was before the internet, and oh no, I feel like it's important as it is today.
Yeah, it is a thing that is still like, I remember them when I was like in junior high. Like there was it's very punk rock feel kind of thing, and like you would see like a very niche little thing, and then like it seemed like it kind of was like not as popular, and then all of a sudden it's coming back now, that alternative press kind of thing. And it's so obtainable for anybody to do. If you have a printer in your house, like you can make a zine like that. That's the fun part about it. If you don't have, you can go to local Kinko's. Wait, Kinko's isn't a thing anymore. Wait, it's now FedEx, right? Like FedEx printer, yeah. But Kinko, I just dated myself.
Or the local library.
Yeah. If like find a local printer kind of thing, and like you can go print your stuff out and just be able to hand out these like pretty inexpensive little like. Zine is short for magazine, like that. That's kind of what it is.
Zine or zine. Yeah, I've heard it both ways, but that's how I see it, as a shortening of magazine.
Right. Yeah.
But it's a fun little small little your like self in a little pamphlet kind of thing.
That was what I was blown away when I went to the first festival. I ran into so many artists. It was so funny. It was in a elementary school's cafeteria, and I was just walking around and meeting some of the best artists ever. And it's kind of interesting. A lot of people that are big names in comic book industry are actually going to independent printing and printing through those zine festivals. So I'll see really big names just come through, and I'm like, this is wild that this guy's here. But like, it's so cool to see the unique ways people approach it. Some will be incredibly touching, some were like historic, and like I remember one was just like a guy wanted to show off his different costumes from Animal Crossing, and I was just like, this is amazing. You can do anything.
It is a very cool medium, and I mean it is very, very like I'm not even gonna pretend to know the history of it, because it goes way, way back, and there's so much there. And like if you really guys want to go into like a crazy rabbit hole of like zines, there is some really, really cool history behind it. And like there is so much behind, and there's like crazy collectors for these, like, and there's like pieces that are like worth thousands of dollars, and it's crazy like historical pieces that are out there kind of thing. And like there's some really cool historical pieces that you can go down some rabbit holes trying to discover some of this cool stuff for it.
It's been for me, like I was saying earlier, I feel like my entire life I've always been drawing, and I think I've wanted to be a comic book artist, and I kind of at one moment realized that if I wanted to be a comic book artist, I had to write the stories a little bit to prove to writers that I could make a story. I could actually make a comic. And so I started writing, and it was terrifying. I was scared to write. And so I feel like through zines, I have the ability to like explore that field a little bit more in a safer way. There's no expectations with zines in that sense. It's incredibly niche and open in that way. But yeah, I feel like it's a fun, really free-flowing art form.
Hi guys, it's Acadia from 111 Threads. Yeah, that new shop in Sugar House, a place where you can find alterations, clothing repair, upcycled fashion, and tons of local artists. Come in Wednesday to Saturday, 11 to 7 p.m. at 1956 South, 1100 East, across from the Sugar House Post Office. You can also apply to be a vendor, check alterations bookings, and more on 111threads.com. Be sure to check us out on our Instagram at 111.threads. Thanks for supporting local artists, and I'll see you in the shop soon.
We'll get back to the episode real quick, but in case you haven't heard yet, we started a Patreon to help support the podcast with 2-tier options to choose from. We're telling you this because we're starting a new segment on the show where we're taking questions from our patrons and answering them right here with our guest. This will be available for both paid and free members, so head over to patreon.com/steadfastrebels to sign up and support the show, or follow the links in the description. Now back to the show. So zines have been a big inspiration as of late for you, but I want to get back to your whole decision to get into the whole market scene for you. Like your illustrations were kind of where it all started, right?
Yeah.
When was the time that you decided to kind of take your illustrations and start selling them at markets for you?
It was interesting. So what I was doing before markets, I was a wedding ring designer.
Oh.
I was the 3D modeling guy. I was the guy that would come up with the design. And that was a lot of fun. It was really creative. And I think that's what I was striving for in my work. I was I wanted to be creative in what I was doing. But then I realized I wasn't feeling fulfilled with the stuff that I was making. It was for somebody else.
Yeah.
And so I sometimes at work I would draw. I was just doodling on Post-it notes, and I would give those drawings to, or put those on the paperwork I had to give the other people at work. And I realized that they were collecting them and trading them like Pokemon cards. And then they would reach out to me and they're like, can you turn this into a bigger piece? And I was getting commissioned from them. And I was like, okay, there's something here that my artwork, this original work, is valuable. And I want to put that in front of people and show that to people. And I quit my job and I started apprenticing. It was super lucky. Artist I follow was looking for someone to have as an apprentice, and I messaged him and he talked to me, and we ended up, he's the one that's been teaching me screen printing, and his name is Isaac Hastings, IH squared.
Yeah, we're very familiar with him. Yeah,
love him.
Yeah, we our first show that we did at DIY Fest, his booth was right across the way from us, and so yeah, we're very familiar with his work. He's great.
Yeah, no, he's fantastic. Yeah, shout out to his YouTube.
Yeah,
yeah, but yeah, no, it's so cool to see the. He was very much the one who sat and taught me the ropes and was like, this is what you do at a show. This is how you draw people in. This is how you sign up for shows, and getting me into that groove. And ever since I've started doing it, I've realized that I love the community. I love being a part of all of it, and just being in the thick of it,
Yeah, that's one of the things that drew us to you, and why we had that great conversation just recently at one of the past shows and everything. You could see it with the way you communicate with a lot of the other stuff. We've had one of your friends on, Erica Ism, on one of our past shows. She talked you up highly when she helped you out one of your shows and everything. But it is fun to just see I think it had to be, I think maybe 3 years ago. It was an SLC punk show.
That's so wild.
Yeah, that we
so long ago.
I think I remember seeing your table. You had a very small table set up with just maybe your stuff laying flat on the table.
Yeah.
To now seeing you have stands on your on your booth. But so when was your first market?
Wow, that was I think it was DIY Fest about 3 years
But
ago.
was it about 3 years ago? Was your first market kind of thing?
It was I was just testing the waters with that, but he signed me up for it, and I think that's how you do it, is just you jump into the water. And
that's what we did. Yeah.
Yeah, and once you do it and you realize the people who want to find you will find you.
Yeah.
It's great.
It is that I know we talked at the this past show. I know you have a very unique style to what you do, and we were discussing back and forth about we make our stuff for ourselves kind of thing, and the people we do it for, when they find us, the people find us kind of thing, and we were having that discussion. It's our art is for not for everybody. We know
Mm-hmm.
that kind of thing. We're making our stuff, and like when we find the people, it's super fun to know that there are people who are like-minded kind of thing.
Yeah.
And I know we were having the discussion about like some of the fandoms and trying to find that fine line of like
Mhm.
how much like fan like art do we actually make and how much do we make of our own kind of stuff, and kind of finding that fine line. And it's going through your stuff. I gravitate towards your robot pieces a lot
Oh, thank you.
because of the sci-fi world and like post-apocalyptic kind of stuff that you have, that where that stuff to me kind of looks comic book, like has that comic book vibe, but also it's a different enough where I'm like, oh, I could, that's not comic booky enough also. But like, where do you find your inspiration for your pieces that you like, that you create?
Oh man, it's interesting. It's good points you're bringing up. I think about that all the time. I'm asked it all the time. It's hard to answer because I feel like I'm inspired by everything. I get inspired by music or a poem, or I don't know, like literally it's random. Might be literally just a feeling I'm having. And I try to write all those things down and have those for myself. I always have a notebook on me and I'm just keeping notes of things. But I when I'm at shows, I'm like, I wish I was smart enough to know what other people liked. But I feel like if you put yourself in that position of being another person and being like, what do I, it puts you out of it. You're not making something for yourself and you're not making something from love.
Mm-hmm.
And it's putting love first, I feel like. And I feel like that I to answer your question, everything inspires me, but I feel like I wish I knew how to like make that connection. Like I don't know, it's this interesting dynamic with the relationship. Like I will put stuff out and people will gravitate towards certain things, and I'm like, okay, that works. Some things don't work. It's a learning process, but yeah.
With that like learning process, like, do you feel that like you try to push towards certain things more on occasion and like kind of like, oh wait, that's not what I'm trying to gravitate to? Or is it like, hey, you know what, I'm just gonna do me and and try to stay away from that thing a little bit? Or like, hey,
I
that
overthink
worked.
everything. I literally overthink everything. The things that I'll go in and I'm like, man, this is breaking through. Everyone's gonna love this. This is amazing. And then I bring it out and no one. It's crickets. And then something I make in 3 seconds that I'm like, bleh, and then everyone's like, this is amazing. Oh my gosh. And I'm like, I don't know.
Why did that work so well?
Don't understand.
I learned that lesson really early. I remember one time I was setting up at a rave and this guy walked up and I had a banana phone t-shirt or something at the time, and he bought the banana phone t-shirt and he was like, this is amazing, I love it. And then he goes to the booth next to me and he was like, oh yeah, this bracelet's awesome. I'm only buying yellow things. And I'm like, oh man, I could have never predicted the yellow guy. There's no way of that.
Yeah, like who would ever think that the person's gonna be walking around going, okay, today I'm just buying green things, and like, cool, I had a green thing in my boot today. like what's the odds of people walking around like, okay, cool, we're just gonna go with colors today?
Yeah, you have to make things for yourself.
Yeah.
There's no predicting that.
On that note, do you have a particular story of like, not the yellow guy, but like of like someone who like found a piece of yours that really stood out, that like you remember fondly?
Oh man, it's crazy how I put stuff out there and you never can predict how it is interpreted.
Yeah.
And it really can touch some people, and to have those people come back to me and just reach out and say like, this really meant something, or I never thought my writing would do anything. I was just like, I'm going to put my writing into the void and see how it works, and then have people come back and be like, this is really important, like this is stuff I need to hear, or like I reread this to like calm me down or something like that. I'm like, I would have never ever thought of that being that powerful. So yeah, I just recommend put whatever out there because
Yeah.
like you don't know how it can touch another person, and yeah, it's amazing to hear that feedback too.
Yeah.
Well, and I think it just goes to show like how art in all of its forms really just connects us, right? Like there's such a shared experience, and I think that's something that like people feel like we're losing, but hopefully we're trying to find again, like without social media, but this connection that we all share. And you don't know until you're face to face with someone, and it's hard to talk about some of these things, but when you have art to bridge that gap and make that connection, like
Absolutely.
yeah, you just never know, like you said, what other people are feeling, but art is definitely a way that we can kind of communicate and make that connection with other people, even just strangers when they see your stuff in the booth.
Well, I feel like when I go to shows, that's my priority number one, which I don't know if that's a good thing, but I love the connections I make at the shows more over everything. I feel like I love talking more than I feel like the times I'm making conversation, I usually make a sale through them anyways, but I would rather make a friend than like a sale sometimes, because some shows are hard, and I feel like I'd rather talk to my neighbor and see how they're doing and have a conversation with another vendor than sit and complain about, oh, these things going on. I try not to be bitter. Like I would rather celebrate what we have, and like the community that is brought together just by even trying to sell the work has to be focused on.
Well, it goes back, you said it earlier, with getting thrown into the community is, I think, the most important part. And if you take what the community is offering you, it is so much more fruitful than like going into it and not realizing how much this community gives back. And like, if you are just going to sit in your booth and not realize that there is so many people around you doing exactly what you're doing, and they all want to be helpful. Everybody around you wants to be helpful. Everybody wants to be a part of something bigger, kind of thing. And like, we're all here to support and lift up every one of us around us, because we're all doing the same thing. We're all there to like make this cool like piece of art, like with each other, like
this podcast. But it's lifting each other up. You believe in my dream, I believe in your dream, and we're supporting each other, and we're making this island of like
cool
support.
People.
Truly.
And so it's one of those things where like the Isaac helped you, like by you reached out, helped you to build you up to then now you're 3 years into what you've been doing, and you've continued to grow and build bigger. Like I said, 3 years ago, I remember seeing you at an SLC Punk show with your table, and now you've built bigger and have done, how many shows do you think you've done?
Oh my God. Thousands.
How many pieces do you think you've probably put out into the world now?
Oh my gosh, that's crazy. Yeah, so many.
Well, I'm looking at your social. You have T-shirts like on celebrities.
Yeah. You meet the most random people.
That's the craziest thing. Like you've put stuff out there that are on, like, that people have up on their walls, that are like meaning to, like, have meaning to people, that are people are wearing like daily kind of stuff. That's so cool. Like, we've had experience of like walking in somewhere and people have a T-shirt and they like, oh my God, it's you guys. I'm like, what did we do? Sorry. Like, oh no, we have your shirt. I'm like, oh, I'm sorry, I didn't steal anything. Like, it's like, what is going on? Like it's so weird when people like recognize us for like something we've done, and it's shocking to us because we're just us. Like that's the craziest thing, kind of thing.
It's surreal. I had a kid come up to me and he's like, I collect all your zines.
That's so cool.
And I was like, that is so touching. Like to have someone be like, no, I'm seeing what you're doing, but I collect them and I love them, and
cherish them.
Yeah. And it's so wild to make this work and then like sell these paintings, and then to have people like come back to me and be like, this is on my wall, or I'll see someone and they'll be like, oh, this is at my friend's house, or I've done it. Like, it's just cool the connections you make through just existing and being out there and trying to put yourself out there, you like there's gonna be that connection and you're gonna connect. It's like, I don't know. I'm just connect.
Yeah,
connect.
it boggles my mind sometimes. Like people will see something we do on social media and literally they have taken the time out of the day to come see us at a show because we've posted something to come buy and support a product that we made. It's like they literally wanted to come buy the t-shirt that I thought about and printed, and they go, I want this to support you. I want to buy this to support what you're doing because I thought it was cool. I'm like,
yeah,
oh, someone's actually on the other side of that like screen, and I'm like, there's actually people, like it's not just a like kind of thing, it's not just a press of a button. It's so weird to me sometimes that that's actually a thing that's happening kind of thing.
Yeah,
and it's like, oh, this is happening kind of thing. This is actually real.
It's wild when you put your dream out there in front of people and you're like, this is how I perceive it of going, and people, when they can see it, they want to support it.
Yeah.
Everyone, I feel like, wants to see other people succeed. I feel like cool people want to see it. But you're like, okay, if that's what they need to be successful or do more of that thing, then it's easy. I can just support and buy that thing or give them a donate or whatever. It's like, once you realize, oh, this is how they're living and this is how they're working and supporting their dream, and then you can actually support it and you're also a part of that community and you get to be I feel like other people don't realize how they are the actual reason that lifts the art.
Lifts it up. Yeah.
Right.
It's
I was literally just talking to Derek, I think earlier today or yesterday, about how I've had like several commissions through our Etsy store lately because I do cosplay commissions, and like how everyone that I've been working with lately has been like just so kind and so nice and almost like in a surprising way, but that shouldn't be the surprising part, right?
No.
Like people see what I'm doing, think it's cool, again, want to support, want to be a part of it, and like are also just awesome, good people, which is so great.
It's so funny. I love great directors, but like Guillermo del Toro, and one of the things he is saying is like, I think why he's such a great director is like he is able to get everyone on the same page.
Yeah.
And he's like, this is our goal. I'm going to trust that you know the best things. And then they make the coolest props and the coolest things. And they're just making the movie and they all have the end goal in mind. And then you just trust the other people and you're able to like make the coolest things possible.
It's the same thing with the Henson studios and like how cool the people are behind all the Muppet people and how like they all trust. And it's like they've been like dormant for so long, and then they can all come back and they all know their parts, they all know their roles, they all know how to like Kermit kind of thing. And like they all know how to do all these parts, and it's like, oh yeah, because they all trust each other at what they're doing,
right?
And they're all like, oh yeah, this is how this all works. Like we all love what we do. We all know how this is gonna work because we all want to do the good, cool things that we do because we all love what we're doing. Like that's the coolest part, because when you find the people that all want to make cool shit and everything, they're all gonna do the best part of making cool shit. Like that's the fun part of working with people who really love what they're doing, kind of thing. And it goes back to like working with other artists kind of thing that want to make stuff and finding cool people to make cool shit kind of thing. That's the fun part about it, kind of thing. But I want to go back into a little bit of like your like cool shit that you make.
Sure, yeah.
Everything. I want to talk about the mediums that you play around with. Because you play around with a lot of cool stuff and everything. What is like your favorite medium that you like to work with? Because I've seen some of your bigger pieces, I've seen some of your smaller stuff. Like what is the thing you go to the most?
Earlier we were talking about mistakes and stuff. One of the breakthrough moments I had was with spray paint. I feel like it allowed for me to just kind of screw up on the canvas first, and it didn't matter what else I put on top of it, it was going to be right, and I could just fix it later if I needed to. But usually I was able to just like make cool backgrounds and have fun with the spray paint. And then I ended up just getting into stencil work and playing with that early on. But spray paint, I love spray paint.
So let me, when you say like fix it? Or are you just saying like spray over it and like, okay, so you're just like, okay, spray, I didn't like the way that sprayed, then spray over and do another layer kind of thing?
That's the great thing about paintings is if you don't like what the paint is, you can just paint over the paint. And then...
okay.
Just keep adding layers.
Or you just hide the painting and no one ever sees that painting.
Fair enough. I talked about this on another episode before, but some of the old paintings, because of the technology with scanning nowadays, they can actually physically see the layers of the paint that like some of these painters have like just literally painted over the painting.
Nope, didn't like that. Try it again. Paint again. Paint again.
Well, it's so funny. I was watching a comic book artist I love recently, and he was like, I screwed up this face of this Batman. So what I've done is I've drawn the face on another piece of paper, and I cut out the face and I just glued it on. And I'm like, you can do that? That's insane. Yeah, it's crazy.
Yep, that makes sense. Yeah.
No, the happy little accidents. I embracing the mistakes. I feel like in my work, I did a show early on, and I remember someone coming up to me and being like, "You left the pencil lines on the painting. I didn't know you could just leave the pencil lines." And I was like, "Oh, I just try to get it done. Like, that's cool that someone finds something out of that. You know what I mean? It's different for every reason."
Yeah. So spray paint. That's your go-to. That's your happy medium.
I love spray paint markers, graffiti tools.
Yeah.
I'm primarily like pen and ink. Like I draw in sketchbooks with like pen, but that usually will translate into something. So I like put my ideas in a book, and then those ideas will become a painting.
So when it comes to like what you take to markets, because I mean we're going to markets, we're selling our wares and everything that way. So are you working in a large format like canvas, and then are you scanning your stuff and then selling like
in a way,
like digital copies of your stuff? And so what is your process for that? Or is like photo scanning, large scanning? Are you taking them to places and doing it, or like are you doing a lot of that stuff DIY?
So I do most of it in-house. I try to do everything myself. It's interesting. It's a balance. I feel like you don't want to burn yourself out with making art. I feel like a lot of it is tied to money and financial stressors. And I've kind of separated them into different camps. So I'm like, I can create and make art in this free-flowing thing, and it doesn't have to be for anything. And then there's this other camp where I'm like, okay, I can turn it into something. I can make it into a patch or into a t-shirt or a print or whatever have you. And like, I feel like that's the fun part of figuring out that stuff. I love the other side of it is like, oh, how can I turn this drawing I made over here into a toy? Or like it's just like that process and turning it into something, and then having it as something with like utility that I can sell at a show, and then people are like, this is so cool, and I'm like, yeah, this is that separate thing that I'm selling is something else.
Yeah, that's what I always want to like share with people out there, that it's like you don't always need to look at it as like, how do I need so much money to like go do this and like to market this stuff, because like punk rock is a thing. Like like you can do this DIY, you can do this punk rock, you can do this on your own in your basement. But guys, we're doing this all in our basement.
I'm doing it in my basement.
This is a thing where like if you have like enough of ability to like try it and like make mistakes, you can learn and do a lot of this stuff yourselves. And like that's if you guys are willing to try, like you can like learn and do it yourselves, and like it takes some time, it takes some effort. And I mean, I imagine you probably made some mistakes along the way.
I mistakes. Oh man, I wish there was another word for failure. I think that's all I do is I look at it like a scientist, where I'm like experiments, like is this working? No. Is this working? No. Just I try not to take things personal.
Yeah, yeah. That's a great way to look at it.
But it's hard. Not
Yeah.
to.
Yeah. No, there is actually a maker that I follow online, and she calls them learning successes, right? It's not a
Oh,
failure,
okay.
it's a learning success. I learned something from it, so that makes it a success.
Absolutely. Truly. It's I think reframing it, like I feel like a lot of people are afraid to even try.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And it's so interesting to be like, just do it. You can do it. It's I think that's what a lot of like your mission statement I feel like is with that. Well, this is how I'm perceiving it. It's like you and I feel the same way as an artist. Once you start doing it, you realize how possible it is, and you want to push that message out into the world as loud as possible, because you're like, this is life changing to me. This changed, like it changes your soul. It's amazing, and it just makes your life significantly. It gave me so much more purpose and like drive and community. It's like, I don't know, it's made my life so much better. And to give that to other people and just be like, this is so easy to just do, but also there's that pressure of failure and fear and
Yeah.
all of that.
Yeah. I mean, we're so like driven by society of like failure is not an option, but it is an option. It's okay, kind of thing. And like it's not gonna
It's safe.
Yeah, it's totally safe.
Yeah.
I think it's the safest thing you can do. Is
And that's the one thing that like is it's not going to break you, kind of thing. And like you can recover very easily from a failure and like continue on, kind of
Well,
thing.
and like you said, like if you make a painting you don't like, you just hide that canvas away. No one sees it. Pull
Or
out
just
another one.
paint over
Or
it.
paint over it. Yeah.
Absolutely.
But we also talk about so much, like all the time, there's so much joy in creating something with your hands and having this like finished product and being like, I made that. Like, is it perfect? No, but I made that. Look at this thing that I did. So yeah, absolutely.
Just existing is magical. I think people take that for granted. I was talking to my friend. He makes video games, and it's so funny because he's having conversations with people who don't make the thing, and he's making the thing. He's the one doing the groundwork to make the thing happen. And he's like, there's the difference between, I see it as like perfectionism and problem solving.
Yeah.
And I have to do that for my own art. Like I have to put like deadlines and make sure that I'm getting on top of my stuff, because I will be like, I don't have any good ideas, or I will overthink things to a degree where I'm like, this isn't a good enough idea, or I don't know. Perfectionism is a big thing, but I've just tried to get work done. Just do it, get it done.
I go back to like in high school when Flash was a thing, and like making
man, I love
Flash
Flash.
games.
Yeah, I love Flash.
And like I just like for like game designers and like the games nowadays and how much goes into like the background of like
my
making
gosh.
I'm like, it is crazy how much. And like it was so exciting to make a Flash game, like, and just how flat and like just making the basic things do its thing. I'm like, that was the coolest thing. And
Oh
then
my
like
gosh.
I'm like, could I make a crazy game of now like at this level? Like, no, that's not what I want to do. But like it was so rewarding to like just make that small game at that point of my life and everything.
It's so cool. And
Yeah.
I love Adobe Flash.
It's
I
like
grew
nostalgia. Yeah.
up, what was it, albino black sheep and old
All those.
Newgrounds. Oh my
Yeah,
gosh.
yeah.
I was just shouting them out because I love them.
Yeah.
But yeah,
If you know, you know, guys.
yeah, that actually kicked off like what got me into animation and
Yeah.
doing those things is like early internet where they're just like, you can make whatever you want. And truly like, it's so crazy to have people that are just like, I'm a maker. I've been doing this thing. I'm drawing, and it becomes this crazy thing where it's just like, you can never predict where things will go. And I think that's the exciting part about it is like, I don't want to know, I love the mystery, and I love like the wildness of like, I remember one of the first things I drew one time was a robot for a musician. I not for him, but I was listening to a song and I was like, I'm going to draw a robot. And then I saw him at a concert and was like, hey, I drew this robot. And he's like, this is awesome. And then later he was like, I'm going to use it for my Australian tour. And I'm like, what the heck? This is like, you can never guess those kinds of things. It's just like it pops up and you're like, I'll take these opportunities.
Yeah.
This is so like beautiful and fun.
Yeah, it's crazy. You just the way things can snowball into other things. You just don't know. And like sometimes you just got to see where it takes you with those kind of things. I want to talk about like what like some of your like big ideas. What are some of the things you're looking at like working on? Like what are some stuff like future plans? What do you got like in the like ideas coming down the rabbit or down not the rabbit hole down the line
down the line? Oh man, I feel like I have so many ideas. I like that's the balance of it is like I feel like it's a balance of creating and selling. And so I have a lot of things. I think you interviewed Bircher Collectibles.
Oh yeah,
Ainsley.
Yeah.
I'm working with her on making toys.
Cool.
I work with her to make the 3D stuff. She's the one that does all the 3D goodness. But yeah, to like work with other artists to make really cool stuff to have at my table that's unique and there's some things I don't want to talk about, but like there's just like really cool projects where
if you can't share stuff, I don't want to give away anything. That's totally fair.
I'm kind of superstitious about my projects a little bit.
That's totally
it's so
fine.
funny to say that, but sometimes I'm like if I pour energy into it, sometimes I don't know if it'll happen.
That's fine. No worries.
But yeah, so, I love a lot.
I don't want to take any mojo away. That's totally understandable and everything. What I do want to talk a little bit about, I want to go back to this zine book. What was your process to get to this point here with finalizing, like combining all of it here? Like, what did you go through? Like, what was the decision to like get it all into one?
So I think it was just a mix of I could see. I feel like it was for me mostly, honestly, just to have it all collected together as one. But once it was together, it was nice to like, it was just, I feel like convenience. Like it just, I have all these little books that are single pages that I hand out to people and I love to give to people. But to have a lot of people wanted to read a lot of them and read most of what I had done. So I was like, I'll just put that into a book and have that for somebody as well. So, I think it's just branching out and exploring new avenues. I just made that for the heck of it and people love it. It's interesting. I never thought I would make a book and I have a book.
That's so cool. Yeah. The magazine that's very cool.
Yeah.
So did you bind this yourself or did you have this bind professionally?
I had it bind it professionally.
Okay.
Yeah, so I try to look for as many options as I can locally to get my work done. So local print shops. Yeah.
So let me ask a little bit, like when going through the process of getting something like this done, did you have to like digitize all your stuff and get this all sent out that way and get it all done through that process?
I digitized all of it. So
okay.
I know that was a lot of like my last jobs. Like I feel like everything I got to right here is like through previous work and it like compiles to a certain point where you're just like, oh, I know how to do these things because of this old thing that I used to do. It's so funny. Like we were talking about like old jobs where through all those things, I feel like I've learned to get to this point and have the ability to do that. With those, I forgot the question.
Well, just taking like from, because all your other stuff is all kind of hand done and gone through, and you made all your zines like yourself with what you've done. So this whole thing here, because you had to outsource this out to get it professionally done, you had to do the digital work yourself with that, but you had to digitize all your work. You had to kind of get it all. So that process, you took all your like previous like job skills that you had, got it to this point.
Okay. Yeah. But I was scanning, I had all the digital files from everything that I was sending out each month anyways. And so it was more of just making an overall umbrella to hold all these individual books and then just stitching it together in a PDF and learning how to make a book via PDF. But yeah, that was it. Learning new printing processes.
So how limited of a run is the magazine? I
am only making 500, but it's crazy. I love doing the zine festivals, and I want to explore going into different states for the zine festivals. There's a big tour, like a lot of people from like Austin, Texas to like Seattle that like come into
Travel.
Utah.
Yeah.
And it's a lot of fun to seeing people from different states come in, and you're like, oh, I get to trade with these guys.
That's cool.
Yeah.
So when is the next big festival you'll be handing these guys out?
Well, it may have just happened.
Oh, okay.
But,
While this is going out, before this episode goes out,
yeah.
Okay.
Alt Press Fest just happened.
Okay.
And it was amazing. It was so much fun. It was 2 days of madness.
So, guys, sorry if you guys are listening to this, you did miss it.
Or you were there, and
you
that
were
was
there,
awesome.
yeah. So,
But yeah, I there's almost I see like 2 or 3 zine festivals a year. And I try to go to all of them if I can. They're usually filled with some of the coolest artists.
yeah. And so I do want to talk about, before that we miss the opportunity about it, you do offer zine classes that you teach as well.
Yes.
So you do have a class that will be in April, but you've also done some previous classes as well. How have those classes gone for you?
It's been interesting. It's a little it's mostly, I feel like, giving permission to people to create. And a lot of it is just like, all right, you have 2 hours. We're just going to start making. You guys are making right now. Start. And I kind of teach them how to make the zine, which is the easiest part, super quick. But just getting into it and then just talking them through it. Occasionally, I'll just do like a history lesson on what zines were and how they're used and what like how everything works within the zine. But it's just a little booklet. It's a little bit of origami, and then once they figure that out, they just make their books, fill it out with whatever they want, cut up the pages, glue it together. It feels like school again in a good way.
Yeah. In a fun way.
The most fun part of school.
Yeah.
Art class.
Yeah. So you do have a class that will be coming up in April.
April 17th at the Gateway will be a little pop-up. We'll have a little vending thing, and people can come by and check that out. That one will be a little bit more lax. People will be able to come in, and I'll teach you how to do it in the moment. The ones that I just did before, they're more of like a sit down with a group of people, and we're gonna have a little party. But it's a lot of fun to teach. I don't know, just like this super simple thing that you wouldn't realize really explored. Like you make something with no meaning, it ends up having meanings in these weird ways. It's cool.
I want to give the opportunity, if you had any type of advice for artists that are like just getting started or looking to get a little bit more involved in the maker world or kind of grow themselves a little bit. If you had a piece of advice that you'd want to share with them, like what would that advice be?
I am a big thing about emulation. I love surrounding myself with people who are doing the things that you want to be doing. You get to learn from them. I would recommend, if you're an artist and you want to be a better artist and you're following people who are amazing artists, reach out to them and just be like, if they're local, try to find local artists that are doing what you want to be doing, talk to them, and just surround yourself with cool people that are making stuff, because you'll start emulating them and having them, like, I don't know. I like to surround myself with people who are smarter than me, and I feel like I emulate them through their work.
Yeah. Like to add on to that, go to art shows, go to markets, go to places where artists are, kind of thing, because like that's the best place to like actually physically go talk to them.
That's how you make friends.
Yeah, that's how you make friends. Yeah. Like go to where the art people are.
I think social media is really hard, because I originally was like, how do I get into being an artist? And I was all internet. I was all social media. And then when I started showing up to events and putting myself out there, like physically standing in front of my work, it actually was like this physical thing. I actually got more followers physically being at events than anything I had posted.
Yeah, I think we see more like followers come through when we're actually at events than like just posting on social media kind of thing. But the conversations are real in person. Like that, we have so much better conversations with people like than just typing on a DM kind of thing.
Social media is not
It's not social.
Yeah, it's not social.
Unpopular belief. Social media is not social, guys.
Well, and we've talked about it before too, but like I'm pretty sure any artist in their booth is happy to sit there and have a conversation with you about how they got started, what they do. Like you could ask them questions and they will be happy to answer.
Oh, just this past weekend, I just happened to have someone standing next to the booth doing her job, kind of thing. But she's a costume artist, and she just happened to like see me sitting there, and she just had the courage to walk over and talk to me. And she's like, "I'm a costume artist, or a costume designer at a film. I do film." And I was like having a great conversation with her. I'm like, but that's all it took was just to have an open conversation, and it was great to talk with her and everything. And followed us on social media. We followed back, kind of thing. And it was like super awesome to have a 5-10 minute conversation. And it was like, that's the kind of fun, awesome conversations we have, kind of thing, when you are in person with people. Like that's the fun
I
thing.
live for that. I need to like those conversations. It's kind of fun being an artist and being at shows because you can talk about things from the people are like, "How are you today?" And I'm like, "Sad." I'm not doing well today. But you can be honest and have deep conversations with people and get to know people on a different level. And I think that's what I live for.
Yeah. It's like I can post a thing of like what I've done, but like no one's asking like what that inspiration for that piece was. But like when they're at a booth and like, "Oh, that thing's really cool," I can be like, "Oh yeah, I drew that like because it was like the night Juniper was born and everything." And it's like I couldn't sleep because I just witnessed like my kid being born. And they're like, oh, okay, that's what that actually was. Or it's like, and that was like, that's why that like the nuclear like bomb is being blown up on the doctor coat kind of thing, because my mind was blown. It's like, oh, that's what that means. Like I can explain that better than a post on social media kind of thing.
It's wild how much story goes into
the pieces kind of thing. And then people are like, "Oh, that's cool." Might turns people off, or they like buy the piece.
Someone like you make something and someone's like, "Oh, I bought this thing from a vendor that he made it out of his basement, and they do this to survive." And like have this like conversation about it with other people and show like, this is this cool thing that I got from another person that I supported, and it's like it shows a part of them too. And
there's a human behind the art that's there. Like we can joke with people kind of thing. The joke I always love telling people is like, "Oh yeah, we like have a sweatshop in her basement," kind of thing. And then like if Juniper is there at the booth with us, and it's like, "Oh yeah, we're working on child labor," kind of thing. And they laugh, and they realize there's human beings behind like what's actually being like. There's so much stuff in our booth and everything. It's like they realize like we're making this stuff by hand. Like we're not, this is all us. This is like we're being honest. Like this is what we do. Like we love what we do. Like the passion of what we're making is there. No different than like you're the artist behind your art. They can physically see you're the one making the stuff kind of thing. It's not somebody behind some like AI piece of like computer making this stuff. And so like people can support, and then you can tell them like what you were feeling that day when you made this piece. You can tell them like, "Oh yeah, like I got spray paint in my eye because I sprayed it the wrong way on this one," kind of thing.
And I was crying.
But like you pour into this like you pour into an art piece in the process of doing it. Which AI you can't. That's not the process, but like through the process of it, something might happen, or you express yourself in a way subconsciously that you didn't even realize, and then in the end, you have something that might be even more beautiful than you could ever expect out of the piece, or hit in a different way that you would have never thought of, and that leaving that open into that beauty of like the unknown and allowing for things to not be exactly the way you expect it, I think allows for this like amazing thing to be formed before you.
Yeah. It's super awesome. Like what you can like create by just putting yourself out there kind of thing. So Thayne, thank you so much for
Thank you so much.
coming out and having a fun conversation with us. I want to make sure people have an opportunity to check out what you're doing,
Absolutely.
go follow what you're doing, and maybe even come support some of the classes you're doing as well and learn a little bit more from you. Where is the best place they can check out what you're doing? What's a way to follow you?
My social media is thaynes.world. And that's spelled THAYNES.world. And a bunch of the links are in my bio. I have a email sign up sheet. You can sign up for my zines. Every month I send out a new zine with my newsletter, and you can kind of get the taste of what I'm doing here with all my writing. It's a lot of fun.
Awesome. Yeah. Jinx. But thanks again for coming down and having that conversation. It was super fun. Yeah. Guys, you know what to do at this point. Like, comment, subscribe. If you guys know any other artists in the Salt Lake area or the greater Salt Lake area, please send them our way. We'd love to have a conversation with them. But that's going to do it for the show. Also, head over to the Patreon, support the show. Links are down and below. We'll see you guys on the next one. Bye.
Bye. Thank you.